Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G.K. Viewers, the big news break we're getting here on the Newshour Agenda. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar has resigned from his post citing medical reasons. He sent his resignation to President Draupadi Murmu and has said that he was stepping down with immediate effect. He's written a letter which states to prioritize healthcare and abide by medical advice. I hereby resign as Vice President of India effective immediately in accordance with Article 67A of the Constitution. The sudden resignation has naturally caught everyone by surprise. Let's take this across to our reporters joining us. We have Pragya as well as Rishabh joining us at the moment. Pragya, this is something that is quite unusual. I don't think there's a precedent of anyone or vice president at the least resigning on health grounds. There have been resignations, but that has been for those who wanted to contest for the president's election. This is rather unprecedented and coming as it does in the middle of the monsoon session. Is there anything beyond what we are hearing officially about the health reasons that we are learning about as to why this has happened?
Well, Madhav, it's certainly shocking for all of us. In fact, we had seen Mr. Dhankar, taking part, participating in the debate today. And in fact, he has been time and again accused by the Congress and the opposition parties of being biased. But at no time Mr. Dhankar took it to heart. And in fact, he had said that there needs to be, no acrimony between the political parties. That has been his stand for quite some time. But what we are also hearing, he was also, hurt by many of the statements that the opposition had passed on him. However, we also saw many crucial meetings between Prime Minister, Mr. Nadda, Home Minister meeting today. And we all were worrying. In fact, there were many speculations why these meetings are happening, apart from the strategy that they also put in place, because there is Operation Sindhu. But now we know probably Mr. Dhankar had told them that he might be putting in his paper. And now the big task before the government is that how to elect a new vice president. They have to do it within 60 days. But the real reason will be known very soon. Mr. Dhankar.
Let's quickly get a word from Rishabh also, who's outside Mr. Dhankar's residence. Rishabh, today we have seen how, we had Mr. Nadda talking about certain remarks that would go on record and not go on record while Mr. Dhankar was in the chair there in the Rajya Sabha. Now, we don't know if that is one particular reason or whether there is something related to the impeachment that has been triggered. We also saw him speak out on a number of issues, including the cash that was found in the Rajya Sabha, as well as one of the petitions which had double signature of one of the members of parliament, which was denied. Number of such issues that we've seen come across today. Could any of these have something to do with Mr. Dhankar's resignation? Is a question that would come to mind. Rishabh.
Well, Manav, yes, we are here at Vice President's enclave where, Vice President Dhankar lives. His term would have ended in 2027. We still had about 20 months for his term to end. And suddenly on the first day of the monsoon session, by evening, this news came in that he has sent a letter to the Honorable President suggesting that he wants to leave the office of Vice President. As you mentioned, that there hasn't been any precedents in Indian, democratic history of a vice president leaving on health ground. Yes, they have resigned, on various issues, but not on health ground. But yes, in last 1 year, we have seen since the new government has come in for the third term under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there have been multiple clashes within the parliament. We have seen impeachment motion also being floated by the opposition leader against him. That was struck down by the deputy chair of Rajya Sabha. We have seen how there have been verbal spats between the chair and opposition benches as well. Only today, as you were mentioning, there have been a number of issues. It could be any of it. As of now, anything of that sort would be speculation, because as per the official letter that has been sent by the Vice President to the President of India, he suggests that on the medical grounds and to abide by the medical...
That's the official reason. Rishabh and Pragya, stay with us. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates. Let's quickly take it across to our guest now joining us. Let's shift focus to Dr. Anand Raghunathan, who's with us, author, Karan Verma, author also with us. We have Ashwini Kumar Mishra, Congress leader, joining us. Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist, is with us on the panel. Neerja Chaudhary, let me come to you first. This is quite a surprise. Coming as it does while we're into the monsoon session. It's the very first day of the monsoon session. And, almost 3 years that Mr. Dhankar has been the vice president. Of course, they've been quite a stormy 3 years. But nevertheless, can we take the health grounds at face value, Neerja Chaudhary, because there's so much of activity, so many controversies that could perhaps explain why he has decided to step down as Vice President. Neerja Chaudhary.
Yeah, I think health grounds, of course, he's had health issues, as we all know. But if it was only health grounds, why do it on the first day of Parliament session? He could have done it 2 days earlier. If he thought about the health issues, he couldn't. That Parliament was very turbulent. There was a lot of tension by the hour that the chair had to deal with, and that his health did no longer allowed him to subject himself to that kind of a situation. It could be that is a calculation many people can have, but the Vice President of India would be better looked after health-wise than an individual. But that apart, I would be, knowing Mr. Dhankar, I would be very surprised that if health was the only issue. Therefore, the question arises, what could be the issue? Particularly as he took on the opposition as is the normal style of functioning, even today. So what is the reason? Are there, does he sense censure? Maybe that's a strong word. From the top leadership of the party, that he's not doing as they would like him to do? Was he becoming too much into public events? Was that something that didn't go down well with the top leadership of the party?
And there's no precedence of this, Neerja Chaudhary, except for one or two other cases where we've been told, there was a case of V.V. Giri, in fact, who had resigned as Vice President on 20th July 1969 to file the nomination for the President of India. I think that's the only other example that our team has been able to pull out, and that's also not on health grounds. That's on the grounds that this individual was wanting to contest as President. So let me bring in Dr. Yes, let me bring in Dr. Anand Ranganathan on this as well. Dr. Ranganathan, very mysterious move. Officially, the reason is health grounds. Can we take it at face value?
Good evening, Madhav, and good evening to my fellow panelists. First of all, I wish the Honorable Vice President the very swiftest of recoveries, and I wish him very well, as do all of us. Before me, the panelist Neerja ji spoke. She's a very senior, very erudite journalist, but I'm afraid I disagree with her on two counts. Perhaps because she's such a seasoned political analyst, I think those decades have made her very cynical. Her comments are, I would say, for example, speculative. When you say that if he wanted to resign on health grounds, he could have done so 2 days ago. One never knows what the health grounds are. I mean, he had an ailment that was complaining of chest pain in March, and he was admitted to a hospital. Many people speculated that was to do with his heart. That can happen this evening. That could happen this morning. So who is to say that the health grounds were actually fortified 2 or 3 days ago or a week ago? It could be as late as an hour ago. Secondly, for her to say that you would be treated well for your health reasons if you were the Vice President, I'm afraid that's very unbecoming and a very cynical view. And it actually, it brings out the honest nature of the Honorable Vice President, that he did not want to just remain on the post to be treated well medically. And I think that speaks for the man. 3 or 4 things here. Many people are speculating, Madhav, as to the reasons of this vituperative nature of the politics that he's witnessed, particularly when as a chairman of the Rajya Sabha. But I think it all pales in comparison to his stint as the governor of West Bengal. And the fact of the matter is, I think he's made of thick skin. He took it in his stride. In fact, if you were to see his last day as the governorship, he was smiling and laughing with Mamta Di. So, politicians do that, and he is a politician who has fought from all parties. He was in Congress, then he was earlier in Janata Dal, then he switched to BJP. So he knows the rigmarole of politics, the hurly-burly, as you said, and I don't think that's the reason. I think it's purely health grounds, and again, I wish him all the very best.
All right. And let's quickly get in a quick word from Ashwini Kumar Mishra. Ashwini Kumar Mishra, now, obviously, it's been a tenure where there's been a lot of run-ins with the opposition. perhaps more than any of his near predecessors. But the point being made here is that at this point of time, if we have Mr. Dhankar saying that it is health grounds, as Dr. Anand Ranathan is arguing, why should we not take that at face value? Ashwini Kumar Mishra.
Madhavji, first of all, I would like to, like Anandji said, I would like to wish him all the very speedy recovery if it is on the health grounds. And I would also like to wish happy birthday to our Congress leader, President Mallikarjun Kharge from your channel. Having said that, I don't think if there's a health issue, you should take person to the hospital rather than make him resign from the president post. If there is serious health issue, that is the first step as a vice president which we're doing. How do I see it? As that either he's giving a hint to the Modi ji that I am retiring on 74, probably you should also retire at 75, or probably has succumbed to the monopoly of one person or two person happening in the political arena. That's how I see it.
All right. Karan Verma, of course, a very controversial set of years that we've seen. But at the moment, of course, we are seeing the stepping down of the vice president on the first day of the monsoon session. Something that is a very shocking move because it's rather unprecedented.
So it is shocking, Madhav, but then the fact that he attended the first day and this has happened, all the more attests the fact that this cannot be pre-planned. So that all the more puts all these conspiracy theories and these speculative theories to rest. And here is a man, let's first understand, Dhankar ji is an absolute legend who has donned this role. I mean, he will go down as one of the greatest vice presidents as far as I remember. He did not shy away from taking the bull by its horn. He did not shy away from disciplining those who didn't follow the line. And just as perhaps Ashwini ji's guru Rahul Gandhi has time and again mocked Dhankar ji, mimicked him in a very distasteful manner, similarly Ashwini ji on this debate has said that maybe he's giving a clue to Modi ji. I think that's very disrespectful to a man who has served across party lines, as Dr. Ranganathan said, who has donned various roles, be it a vice chancellor of a university, as the governor, a legal luminary himself. So I think we should all be bipartisan here and wish him all the best and wish him good health. But you know, Madhav, barely has this news come out and their entire army of trolls on social media is concocting theories, and Ashwini ji here is speaking. I think that's very distasteful, and it speaks about why the opposition today is where it is on the political margins. It has lost touch with people. It has lost basic decency.
There are some reactions coming in. Kapil Sibal, in fact, reacting, saying that sad that he has left his post and resigned as chairman of Rajya Sabha. Let's cut across live to that reaction.
कह देते थे और वो भी अपनी तरफ से जवाब भी दे देते थे, लेकिन कोई करवाहट कभी नहीं हुई. और मुझे दुख है कि अगली बार जब मैं जाऊंगा राज्यसभा तो वहाँ उस चेयर पे नहीं होंगे. लेकिन जिस तरह से वो चेयर पे अपनी बात रखते थे और जितने प्रोएक्टिव वो थे, शायद ही कोई चेयरमैन इतिहास में, हिंदुस्तान के इतिहास में उतना प्रोएक्टिव रहा हो. ये उनकी खासियत भी थी और उसकी वजह से करवाहट भी कभी कभार होती थी, लेकिन कभी मन में उनके ये नहीं रहता था कि मैं इसकी वजह से किसी को नुकसान करूं.
इंडीड सर, हम भी ये बात मानते हैं. एक अंतिम सवाल से तमाम लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं. तमाम जो रिपोर्ट्स स्पेकुलेशन की अब दौड़ रही हैं मीडिया में, कहा जा रहा है कि गवर्नमेंट और चेयर के बीच में रिफ्ट था. आप तो एक कलीग के तौर पर और आप सदन में भी साथ रहे हैं, प्रोफेशन की भी अगर बात करें तो उनके खिलाफ में भी, उनके साथ में भी तमाम केसेस में हमने आपको देखा है उनके साथ. कैसे देखते हैं, क्या रीजंस हो सकते हैं सर?
नहीं, इसके बारे में तो मैं कुछ कहना नहीं चाहता. उन्होंने कहा है कि स्वास्थ्य की वजह से वो इस्तीफा दे रहे हैं और इस बात को हमें ज़्यादा बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलना नहीं चाहिए. और मैं समझता हूँ कि स्पेकुलेशन से कुछ हमें मिलेगा नहीं. कोई भी सत्ता में बैठा हुआ अगर पद छोड़ता है तो उसकी कोई वजह होगी और इतनी गंभीर वजह होगी कि उनको छोड़ना पड़ा या उन्होंने सोचा कि अब वक्त आ गया है मुझे छोड़ने का. तो उस पे हमें स्पेकुलेशन.
All right, we have in fact multiple theories that are doing the rounds as to whether health is the real reason. Of course, Kapil Sibal himself saying that one should not speculate. As a leader of an opposition party, of course, interesting that he is taking that point of view, saying that was never any bitterness, even if there was disagreement. But a lot of questions as to whether this has something to do with Justice Verma's impeachment. There's also a theory that JP Nadda saying that nothing would go on record except for what he says is a statement that may have upset Dhankar, who was in the chair at that point of time. Again, all speculative. There's nothing official about this, but these are some of the theories. And let me get in a quick word from Pragya on this as well. Pragya, a lot of theories that are doing the rounds. None of this is official, we may add, but certainly all could be potential reasons for Mr. Dhankar's stepping down as Vice President. Pragya.
Absolutely, Madhav. And in fact, there are theories that are doing the rounds. One is that something over the impeachment has triggered this particular resignation by Vice President Mr. Dhankar. And in fact, he's a man who is up and about. Even in fact, he was when admitted to AMC, came back and attended the parliament session. And in fact, there is another theory that is doing the round is Mr. Nadda, saying nothing on record in argument with Congress in Rajya Sabha. You can always make out that Mr. Dhankar was very upset about this. But whether this could be a reason for the resignation or not, we will get to know very soon. We are also speaking to our sources right now who are going to, in fact, corroborate some of these theories. And in fact, when we spoke to someone who is very close to Mr. Dhankar, he said his health is a major concern for them right now. And this is the reason, in fact, why Mr. Dhankar resigned. So official line right now is the health reason, but there are many theories that are going the round, especially in what happened in Rajya Sabha today. So all of that is taken into account, but this is very shocking and surprising for everyone, in fact. And in fact, when we saw the meeting between Prime Minister Mr. Nadda and Mr. Amit Shah, that we could make out that something serious is being discussed in that particular meeting, and not just the strategy meeting. But now we know that they might be discussing this resignation by Mr. Dhankar. Mr. Dhankar must have told them, in advance that he has a mind of putting in his paper.
All right.
And he's a man who speaks his mind out loud whenever he wants.
Right. And we're also told, in fact, there's more updates coming in. In fact, let me bring in Neerja Chaudhary. Neerja Chaudhary, there is a history of R. Venkatraman, of S.D. Sharma, Shankar Dayal Sharma resigning, but ostensibly it was because they also took on the higher office of president, just like Mr. Giri. That's the only precedent so far, isn't it? There's no other precedent of a vice president, mid-tenure resigning in this manner on health grounds.
Yeah, I know it is, and particularly, knowing Mr. Dhankar from the days of Devi Lal and time when Vishwanath Pratap Singh was the Prime Minister of India, he's a man who does not give up easily. He's also a legal mind. He has a sense of humor, which, if you talk to him, he will crack jokes all through the conversation. Given all those aspects that he will go only because of health, seems to me, politically doesn't make sense to me, knowing the individual. But then, of course, we don't know the nature of health. Other panelists have said this, how bad it is. And certainly one would like to add one's voice to others who say we wish him the very best. He was very polarizing. He riled the opposition on several occasions. But in all probability, he will be also missed.
All right, and that's certainly the sentiment that's being expressed by some of those opposition leaders, including Kapil Sibal. But Dr. Ranganathan, a tough choice for the government. Of course, we know that Mr. Harivansh, who's the deputy chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, will be officiating for the moment. But within 60 days, the government will have to pick a new phase. There will be a fresh election that will be conducted by the Election Commission. But who will be the candidate as far as the government is concerned will be a very, very big question indeed. Dr. Ranganathan.
Again, we move into the realms of speculation, and everyone enjoys that, Madhav. So give me my 10 seconds of fame. No, but I think the fact of the matter is there are seasoned names who are as wise, erudite, experienced in governorship as well as in dealing with politicians and political parties as Honorable Vice President Dhankar was. I think the name that immediately crops to mind is Arif Muhammad Khan. He's been out and about. He was with the Congress and then he left on moral and ethical grounds, which is exactly how you want your, the person on the second highest pedestal to be. And he's been the governor. He's very strict when it needs to be. He's, well-read, erudite and bipartisan. And I think my personal, of course, opinion would be it'll be hard to find someone as qualified as Arif Mohammad Khan ji.
All right. Thanks so much, Dr. Ranganathan, as well as Neerja Chaudhary for joining us. Karan and Ashwini will stay with us for debate number 2, where we're going to be discussing what's happening in the state of Bihar.